Calaroga Shark Media.
Hey, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news, a daily briefing on stand-up comedy comedians and the comedy industry. So much to get to today and tomorrow. Tomorrow is going to be very political. Consider yourself quite warned. Let's start with Nikki Glaser. Now, last night she hosted that Time 100 Most Influential People thing. We'll get to that over the weekend. But she was also on Good Morning America. And I want to start here and let's listen together as we hear all the cool get totally sucked out of Nikki Glaser. You can just feel it rushing out of here as she talks to the folks on Good Morning America. Let's listen.
She has a new stand-up special called Good Girl.
Oh, good girl.
Thank you guys.
Good girl.
Everyone's here. Some people think I'm bad.
No.
But I just want to be liked.
No.
Well, there's this material in the special is it shows you both sides of it. Of growing up as a woman, you're just told you need to be a good girl and behave and fall in line. And then there's this part of me that's always just loved speaking freely and openly and saying my truth. But then, sometimes that just makes people think oh, she's naughty, she's bad. Even coming on here, they're like, this is a PG show. And I'm like, I'm not. They don't know what I'm going to do because I've been bad before. But I can compartmentalize it.
Okay, you can turn the delay off now.
Yeah, just let's go real life.
There's a censor somewhere.
Totally. Oh my God, just sweating bullets.
Can we take a look at a PG version clip?
Yes, I think we found one.
Okay, here
it
we
was
go.
hard, but...
What I don't want when I get a facelift is anyone being like, that's so sad she did that. Why did she do that? And the answer is because it's going to lead to a better life for me. I'm on TV a lot. I'm going to look amazing. I'm going to get better roles. I'm going to get paid more for those roles. I'm going to get fire emojis from Kristen Cavallari. Do you know how good it feels to have Bowen Yang write diva with 19 A's underneath a picture of you? Looks like he just fell asleep on the keyboard because I was so slay.
I get that. Once again, so relatable.
Yeah.
Oh my God, so relatable, right? I've got more from that whole interview, but boy, that does not sit well with me. It's so forced. Nikki's new special, Good Girl, is out on Hulu today. Now, my take on the Hulu specials. The Hulu special is the one you get when you're slightly past peak. Prove me wrong, go down the list, tell me the one that doesn't count. Nikki said, I couldn't be prouder of my 5th hour special, Good Girl. I put everything I had into this hour of material, and luckily for me, so did everyone who worked on it with me. I truly saved the best for 5th. Good Girl was developed and honed over 2 years on the road at over 250 shows, and it was one of the best nights of my life to get to perform this show for the very last time in my hometown of St. Louis in front of family, friends, and fans. I already missed these jokes, so I can't wait for them to have a second life again. Eddie Murphy was honored at the 51st AFI Life Achievement Awards at the Dolby Theater in Los Angeles. A lot of people showed up for him. Kevin Hart opened up the tribute to Eddie Murphy, saying, he's our power, he's our friend. And even you white people think he's your friend, and he's done a lot to show you he's different. He's given us the gift of laughter across generations. Stevie Wonder got a standing ovation and said, Eddie finds our common funny bone and allows us to show how much we're alike. We found each other because he would imitate me on Saturday Night Live. He made fun of a blind man, and he made the world laugh. Stevie then did an impression of Eddie's impression of him, which got big laughs from the crowd. Chris Rock said that without Eddie, many of the people in the audience might not exist. He said, like Brando, you're the first black man to just be cool, to just be yourself. It was just you. Mike Myers came out in Shrek makeup and said, I never got to work with Charlie Chaplin. I never got to work with Alec Guinness. I never got to work with Peter Sellers. But it's my absolute honor to say and be able to tell my kids that I got to work with Eddie Murphy. Eddie himself said, I just turned 65. Sometimes they let you wait until you're really old to get this award. Mel Brooks was 86 when he got it. Francis Ford Coppola was 86 as well. The oldest person to ever get up here was Lillian Gish. She was 92. She was very gracious when she came out and got the award. If you made me wait until I was 92, I would have come out here and said, F everybody. Dave Chappelle gave a nice speech. This is a little long. I've made a couple minor edits for language.
A little cultural inside baseball. I know this is true for me. I think it's true for many black people. Black people often have fear for their heroes. We worry about them because so many of our heroes persecuted or shot down. When I was 14 years old, Raw came out. And I would go and I would watch it every day after school, like I was taking a class. Like I knew somehow this was something really important in my life. Throughout my life, Eddie, man, I kept my eye on you. You were the ball I was watching. You were the hero that I worried about. Man, when you came up, it looked lonely. You was just by yourself. It was you. It was Michael Jackson. It was Rick James, and it was Prince. All of whom are deceased. And somehow you survived. Tonight, when I came into the theater to do this thing, man, I saw a bunch of my heroes. I saw Martin and Arsenio and Robert Townsend, all these people. And for my life, I saw you, Chris. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. All the honor, the sole survivor of AIDS.
I'll circle back to Dave in a second. Bill Burr also got up there, also long, also edited for language.
The reverse diversity hire for the evening. Standing backstage, I'm going on after Stevie Wonder. All right. This is what I get for going over to Hulu. Never forget. This right here is my entire comedy Smithsonian library. I've been watching him since day one. Eddie, when I bought your first album, I didn't even know who you were. You had the rose behind your ear, and I had been listening to Richard Pryor, and I was just like, well, here's another black guy. He must be funny too. So I bought it, and I became a fan. And a lot of people don't know this, but I actually saw Eddie on the Raw tour. I was only 18 years old, and I was really getting into stand-up, but I never thought I could be a comedian. It was the days before the internet, so it seemed a million miles away. And I went to go see him, like the Weather Girls opened up, I remember that, and I went with my boss from the warehouse, and he did a bunch of blow, and he thought he was going to have a heart attack, and he's like, we got to get out of here, and I'm like, well, we're not missing Eddie, so you got to ride this out. So like 2 weeks before I went to see Eddie, I saw Rodney Dangerfield, same place, Great Woods, Universal Amphitheater, and it was an all-white crowd, which didn't strike me as weird because I'm white as hell, and I just sat and I watched him. It was all good. And I remember when Eddie did his show, I immediately noticed that he was making everybody laugh. And I hadn't even thought about being a comedian, but that stuck with me. And I was thinking, like, you know, this guy's, he's doing it, he's making everybody laugh. If I ever become a comedian, that's what I'm going to do. So, a few years later, I become a comedian, and I'm like, I'm going to be like Eddie. I'm going to go up in front of a black crowd. And I went up and I did my thing, and I got off stage, and I was like, I am never going to do that again. Black people are mean. They don't let you get to the stage. They already heckle. They are going to have a good time with or without you. That is what I learned. But in that education that you gave me, Eddie, it formed me as a comedian that I wanted to make everybody laugh. You've been such an amazing, amazing inspiration. I truly think you're arguably the most talented guy who's ever been in this business. I don't think there's anything you can't do, and I'm looking forward to more of your work. I love you to death. Thank you so much, and it was an honor to work with your brother Charlie. Rest in peace. Good night. Thank you.
Kenan Thompson said, for me personally, as someone who grew up dreaming about making people laugh, Eddie wasn't just an influence, he was proof. Proof that you could come in young, take big swings, trust your voice, and leave a mark that lasts decades. Tracy Morgan said, one of the greatest performers ever. Who's going to be playing in a sketch with me? Oh my God, what if he's funnier than me? And as we all know, Eddie Murphy does an incredible Tracy Morgan. Eddie Murphy did more for red leather outfits and cowboy boots than any black man in history. Now, I said I'd circle back to Chappelle. Dave talked about bringing back Chappelle's show.
Recently, I did an interview that made headlines because I said I was considering doing Chappelle's show again. And I told the guy, I said, if you'd asked me that a year ago, I would have said no. Chappelle's show was a very difficult show to do, but it was one of the greatest experiences of my life. And one of the reasons that it was great was your brother, Charlie. And I know Bill mentioned it, but Charlie used to tell us stories all day about your ascension to fame. And I just want you to know, man, every time he mentioned you, he always said how proud he was of you. Man, he said, I love my brother, you know. And And Charlie meant the world to everybody on the set. A couple of weeks ago on a whim, I reached out to Eddie and asked him if I could come by and visit him. And I went to his house. I didn't know it was the day after his 65th birthday. Weather was beautiful. His grandkids were outside playing in the pool, screaming and laughing like children, just pure joy. And me and Eddie, for the first time, talked about Charlie since he passed. I hadn't seen him or really had an occasion to speak about it. And in the midst of the conversation, Eddie was the one that said, man, you should do like a Chappelle show movie or something like that. And I said, man, that would be tough. That's your brother. So Eddie, if I do it, man, do the Charlie parts. And let's go.
Boy, can you imagine if Chappelle's show comes back and Eddie Murphy is on it? That will be amazing. In other news, Netflix and Stavros Halkias, they announced a deal. Stavros will do a comedy special titled Uncle Stav. He'll tape it in Baltimore tonight and tomorrow. That was quick. John Mulaney is wrapping up a week in London. The folks at The Times went to go see him. They compared this show to the previous show, Baby J, which detailed how Mulaney had been leading a double life of drug addiction. The Times writes, this new show, Mr. Whatever, is the sordid, settled, and, I hate to say it, lesser what came next. Spoilers. John gives a quick topical overview of his homeland that suggests great things ahoy. An amusingly mean takedown of Jeff Bezos celebrates how billionaires are now at least blatantly bad on the surface. But after that electric opening, the show proper rarely finds topics as fertile. The Times writes, even comic greats can lack perspective. That happens here a few times. He segues niftily from a story about his son's birthday party at a trampoline park to a routine about RFK Jr., but even with moments of insider gossip, it all goes on too long. He overcommits to a neat but niche rumination on the way demonic possession is handled in horror films. Likewise, his big finale comparing his terrible but terribly expensive new washer-dryer to the old machine he grew up with feels like a Reddit post run amok. Yikes. The domestic stuff drags after a while, no matter how powerhouse his performance. Meanwhile, Mulaney races too fast over his bigger, less domestic ideas about baby boomer entitlement. The crowd, whatever their accents, gave it a huge response at the end, but Mulaney is a wildly gifted comic, and this is far from his best show. 3 stars out of 5. John is at the London Palladium through tomorrow night.
Comedy stock market.
Thank you, Burt Reynolds. Now, every week on the comedy stock market, we try and find value. We buy low, we sell high. And boy, I really wish I could be positive and have some buy recommendations for you, but nothing is exciting me this week. I actually have some sells, and we're going to get political here. Our first sell, Joe Rogan, and I'll pair him up with Theo Von. I'm going to put them together. Especially with Theo. I have here in my notes. I'll just read you what I wrote in my notes. And this is the thing about me in real life. I have no patience for stupid people. And that Theo Von is out there now, like, and we'll get into this tomorrow, and tomorrow's a very political episode, that Theo Von's out there now like, gee whiz, I can't believe this is all happening. Dude, do you remember who the president was before Biden? Come on, man. You can't act like you didn't know. And same note on Joe Rogan. So I want to sell Theo, sell Rogan, and I also want to sell Nikki Glaser. The coolness is just oozing out of her with all the press she's doing right now. She'll have a little bump. People will be like, oh, Nikki's special is so funny. But the cool is just leaving. So a pretty negative comedy stock market will sell Joe Rogan, sell Theo Von, and sell Nikki Glaser. I'm behind on a couple stories. I had to pre-tape a few episodes during the week to accommodate my colonoscopy. The results were good, by the way. No issues at all. I encourage you to get one. Stay healthy. The prep sucks. Understatement. The colonoscopy itself, the anesthesiologist comes in, you're out 1 second later, suddenly it's half an hour later, and then you go to McDonald's and get a 2-cheeseburger meal. Oh, there is nothing better than McDonald's after a colonoscopy. Joe Rogan is one of the stories I have to catch up on. Last weekend, he was in the Oval Office with President Trump. Rogan stood directly behind the president, who was seated at the desk. The president signed an executive order to ease restrictions on medical research and treatments using psychedelic drugs. I'll let Joe Rogan take it from here.
I want to tell everybody how this happened. I sent President Trump some information. We have a gigantic opiate problem in this country, obviously. In 2024, more than 80,000 people died of overdoses. It's a horrible number. And there's more than 5 million people that are addicted to opiates right now in this country. With one dose of Ibogaine, more than 80% of people are free of that addiction. With 2 doses, it's more than 90%. I sent him that information. The text message came back, sounds great. Do you want FDA approval? Let's do it. It was literally that quick. These drugs are illegal not because they're harmful. They're illegal because of the 1970 Controlled Substances Act that was passed by the Richard Nixon administration. They did it to target the civil rights movement and the anti-war movement. It's not because these drugs harm people. And for 56 years, we've lived under those terrible conditions. We're free of that now. We're free of that now. Thanks to all these people that you see next to me, and thanks to President Trump.
Now, Theo Von, who we just sold some of his stock, he said this thing I'm about to play. You can ask him what he's talking about here. I'm not even going to comment. Here is Theo Von talking about, I'm not really sure here. Here's Theo.
I think that's what I think. Some people, like, if you get so, like, some people get so powerful, or like there's a lot of gay folks out there. I think that they only veer into that or get into different sexual, like, things that are outside of what would be normal for them, maybe, that because they get so much power, you know, like the Romans did it. Like, you know, they say that they did it. Or there's people like financial gays, power gays. There's like,
I haven't heard that before.
Oh, really?
No, financial gays and power gays.
Oh, yeah. There's people
man.
that get so rich they can afford to just be
just
gay for
anything
fun.
They want.
Yeah. Or like blind gays.
Tonight on CNN, it's America Laughs with Matt Friend. Matt Friend, known for his impressions of Donald Trump and other political figures, headlines a comedy special from Washington, D.C. on the eve of the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Those folks do not have a comedian hosting this weekend, so normally that's a big event on the comedy calendar. No longer. Matt Friend said, "We are an increasingly divided country and world. For my show with CNN, I aim to poke fun at everyone and allow room for all to laugh in a Johnny Carson spirit." For decades, from Sid Caesar and Carson to Norm Macdonald and Bill Maher, comedians have helped us reflect on public life in America. This is going to be a truly fun, unpredictable night of impressions, satire, and surprises, and I can't wait for people to see it. Being somewhat familiar with Matt Friend's work, I will be shocked if it's unpredictable. Last weekend during Kill Tony WrestleMania in Las Vegas, The Undertaker showed up and dropped Tony Hinchcliffe with a thunderous chokeslam. The wrestling news source, your home for wrestling news, said it didn't stop there. As soon as Tony Hinchcliffe hit the table, The Undertaker's music blasted through the venue and the crowd erupted. Moments later, Triple H rushed out, trying to revive Tony Hinchcliffe as the scene spiraled into full WWE madness. The wrestling news source tells us Kill Tony WrestleMania promised surprises, but no one expected it to turn into a dead man ambush, complete with a chokeslam, entrance music, and total chaos that left Tony Hinchcliffe wiped out. Yeah, that was completely unpredictable. Who would have seen that happening at a wrestling event? Out on YouTube today, Zach Noe Towers' debut special, Twink Death. Twink Death delves into Towers' religious Midwestern upbringing, the slippery slope of sobriety and medication, why gay is always a compliment, and his deep skepticism of marriage, especially when it comes to the questionable return on investment of straight weddings. Twink Death on YouTube, and that is your comedy news for today. Tomorrow, very political. I've got some audio from the likes of Dave Chappelle, Theo Von, George Lopez. I've got some comments from Jimmy Kimmel. I've also got some comments from Fox News. So if you don't like the political stuff, I will see you Sunday. Just consider yourself warned. Everybody else, see you tomorrow.